Hello, friends. I am back with something else that I wanted to read to you. I am actually going to be reading something that I wrote from one of my blogs. This is from a couple years ago, but I have been going back through the blogs that I wrote, breaking down different chapters out of the book of Psalms. And there were quite a few things that God had given me for my own journey that, number one, I had forgotten. The things that He had pointed out to me that I need to remember. And number two, they were really helpful to me at the time. And so remembering them again this week has been really helpful to me right now with everything that's going on. So I thought I would just read a couple of these. Today I'm just going to read one blog, and it's one that I wrote on Psalm 3. And the blog is entitled Punch the Enemy in the Mouth. So if that is something that you need in your life today, then this is good timing for you, and hopefully you'll get something out of it. Psalm 3 is only 8 verses, and so I just have written this blog broken down 2 verses at a time, and then I believe every 2 verses is the word Selah. I hope I'm saying that correctly. That's how I say it in my head. I guess it could be Selah, but I'm sure someone will correct me if I'm wrong. So anyway, I just go through and share my thoughts and share things on these verses that God has given me. So I'm just going to read it to you, and I hope that it's encouragement to you. And that's all. So Psalm 3 verses 1 and 2 say, "O Lord, how many are my foes? How many rise up against me? Many are saying of me, God will not deliver him." Selah. To me, these verses feel frantic. We tend to over-exaggerate and make vague generalizations when we're overwhelmed. Everybody hates me. Nobody likes me. I'm always fill in the blank. This will never change. The word Selah, according to my research, doesn't have a legitimate definition, but can be used to mean stop and listen or pause. To me, this feels like rest, taking in a deep, cleansing breath, choosing to stop striving, and to just be still before God. Verses 3 and 4 say, "But you are a shield around me, O Lord. You bestow glory on me and lift up my head. To the Lord I cry aloud, and he answers me from his holy hill." Selah. In these verses, David has rested and realigned his focus on God. He has lifted his eyes off of his enemies, his problems, his feelings, and put his eyes on God. He cries out, knowing and trusting that God will hear him. Rest, breathe, stop striving, be still. Verses 5 through 8 say, "I lie down and sleep. I wake again because the Lord sustains me. I will not fear the tens of thousands drawn up against me on every side. Arise, O Lord. Deliver me, O God. Strike all my enemies on the jaw. Break the teeth of the wicked. From the Lord comes deliverance. May your blessing be on your people." Selah. David has poured out his anguish and fear to God. He has rested in God. He lies down to sleep. No fretting, no pacing the floors. He wakes up and thanks God for sustaining him. His fear and striving have been replaced by peace and courage. David tells God to strike his enemy on the jaw. He is empowered and ready to see God do what only God can do: punch the enemy right in the mouth. The assurance we have that God will deliver us and bless us brings us back around to our ability to rest in him. He is in control, and he's got it handled. All we have to do is trust, rest, and be blessed. God, I thank you that we can come to you with all of our issues, big and small. I thank you that we can come to you just as we are. I thank you that you hear our anguished and sometimes over-exaggerated, dramatic cries for help. I thank you for responding by lifting our heads up to look upon your face, to get our eyes off all that is surrounding us and overwhelming us, to remember that you are our shield. You fight for us. You protect us. There is no enemy or problem that you can't handle. We rest in you, God, and know that you are more than capable. You give us peace in exchange for striving. You give us courage in exchange for fear. We lie down to sleep, and we can actually sleep. You give us rest in exchange for fretting and pacing. We wake up because you have sustained us, and your mercies are new every morning. We rest in you, and we trust in you. We stand up tall and strong. We raise our voices loud, and in confidence we say, "Arise, my God, and punch the enemy in his filthy, lying mouth." You deliver us, God, and you bless us because you are so good to us. We rest in your deliverance. We rest in your blessings. We rest in your goodness. Great is your faithfulness. So those are some thoughts of mine on Psalm 3. I don't know if any of that is something that God can use in your life today. I know for sure he is using all of this to remind me to rest in him, to trust him, that nothing that is happening yesterday, today, tomorrow, none of it takes him by surprise. And the enemy wants us to be shaken and to be scared and to live in fear. And that's not what God has for us. God has peace and rest and trust and trusting him. And so that is what I feel like God put on my heart to share with you guys today. And I hope it was a blessing. And I hope everyone is doing well. And I will probably be back tomorrow with something else to share with you. Take care.